My name is Shawnee Iyer-Pothier, and I'm so excited to be part of this organization summit. It's something that I really need, and I'm really excited to listen to the other speakers. And as I was given a choice to talk about whatever I wanted to, I kind of thought about a lot of different things, and I kind of came up with the idea to talk about organization of something that's kind of different than probably what most of the speakers are talking about. I want to talk to you guys today about organization of dreams and goals. I just feel like there's so much power in organizing those things. There's things that we really want to do in life and we get super excited about them, but if we don't figure out a way to organize them and keep them close to our hearts, then it's really hard to make them come to pass. So what I want to talk about is something that we do in our family. We've come to call these things dream books. And what they are just folders. They're 3-ring binders, and they have different sections. They have one for lifetime goals. They have one for 10-year goals. They have one for 5-year goals. They have one for 1-year goals, and they have another section for 1-month goals. And if you want to get really even better, you can do 1-week goals as well. When I say 10-year goals, it means we have our kids imagine themselves in 10 years. So say they are 10 years old. We have them imagine themselves at age 20. Who are they? What do they like? What have they accomplished? What are their dreams? What are they still working on? We have them actually try to explain themselves as that next age, whatever it may be. And then the same thing with 5-year goals, same year with 1-year goals. Let's say they're 12 years old, their 1-year goals are going to say, okay, at 13, I will have accomplished this and this and this. It just is such a great practice to be able to think through those things and think, what am I going to be able to do by that age? This is something that we did growing up in my family, and I'm so thankful for it because I feel like the more I wrote down things that I wanted to do and wanted to accomplish in my life, the more they happened to come to pass. And I thought it was kind of awesome. It's kind of cool to look back on these things and see what comes to pass. Just if you put it in your mind, you organize it enough to put it in your mind, and then transfer that to paper, and it really makes a difference. I think it's really important to have them easily accessible. This is where my kids do homework, and these are where we keep their binders. We have each of their names on the edge, and I'm going to get them out and show them to you. It's really nice because every month we can get them out and kind of redo goals and plans. I'll show you first my youngest child. She got into it and made it really fancy. Dreams. And as you can see, when she was little and she started this book, she really wanted to be a farmer and have 5 kids, get married, do some research so I can see. She's got a syndrome that causes vision loss, so she was really into helping with that. She wants to have lots of animals. She's an animal lover. And each month, she kind of has, actually, it really doesn't need to be each month. And we're really not perfect at this, but she will kind of review those and see, okay, these ones aren't quite as important to me. These ones are. But she kind of has gone through them each, every so often whenever we take them out, and she redoes those. Same thing with 10 years old. When she was little, she it says she'll be 18 in 10 years. So she started this when she was 8 years old. This is just her cover page. But she had these goals, and then she's revised them over and over again through the years. And my girls and I just read through them, and they are hilarious. And I love them. But they really are pretty awesome because so many of them have come true. These are her 5-year goals. And she's revised them over and over again through the years. And her 1-year goals. She wanted to learn to ride a bike. And that's just so fun to be able to look back on. But also, it's so fun to see the progress that she's made as she goes. I love this. These are her newest ones that she hasn't filed yet. She just barely made them at the beginning of the summer. And I love that her emotional goals are love others and be happy and flexible every day, because the reason I love that so much is because this girl isn't necessarily the most flexible girl. So I love that she has that on her list. Max's book. This is my oldest child, and they all have different things going on in their books that are so fun to look back on. But I love this because my son now is 22, and these are his 10-year goals, but the 5-year goals. So this is the 5-year goals he made 5 years ago. So now he's actually almost that age, 2020. He served a mission for our church, and he was dating and trying to find a wife at BYU, he said, but now he's actually married, so he's actually done that. He did actually walk on the BYU volleyball team. Now, this is a really great team, and he, it's not easy to get on, but he really worked so hard, and he said this in his 10-year goals too. He said this in his lifetime goals. He wanted to play volleyball, and so I think, stuff like growing to be 6'9", he actually has kind of tapered out at 6'8", so that one didn't work. But the fact that he had all these goals, I think, really influenced the way that he's becoming the person he is. And I think that goals can make such a big impact in so many different ways. There's one more page on his. I hope Max doesn't care that I'm sharing all this, but 1 month goals in 2015, graduating state champion, and he wanted to be, and they actually were the runner-up, but he was all-state first team, which is so awesome. He did work really hard in the summer. He wanted to find a good job, and he wanted to develop his spiritual talents. And then he wanted to work really hard because he needed to pay off prom. I forgot about that, but he needed to work really hard to pay that off. I guess we needed to loan him some money for that, but he kept track of his hours down here. So it can be used for more than just those main goals, but I just really love that this is compact in a little book. It doesn't take up a ton of room, but every month, the goal is every month to pull these out and redo them. And that doesn't happen every month. I will tell you that right now. But it happens quite a lot. Now, these are Claire's dreams. I love that she wanted to have a farm, but when she revised it in a gymnastics competition, when she revised it, she decided that she didn't really want to do those. But the other ones are keeping up strong. These are her summer goals from a year ago, I think. And so, she did her physical, spiritual, and mental goals, which is great. All these goals of dreams, kind of the same thing. After her 5-year goals, she just all kinds of goals. Anyway, I just think it's so fun to look back on these and to see how much has come true in all the things that these kids are working on. Okay, so we kind of had a little change of scenery here because we ran out of time. But I just want to say that dream books are so great in that I think it's so important. Someone told me one time, it's so great to put a destination, like in your cell phone and a map, and you want to be going toward that destination. But if there's alternate ways to get there, you can always change it along the way. But it's so great to have that goal that you can get to at some point. And out here on this boat tonight, I'm with my girls and telling us about their dream books. And I'm going to start with Grace. Grace, here you go.
Hi.
Let's hear it, Grace. What do you love and not love about the dream books?
I love it all.
Come on, you got to be real with us.
One thing I don't like about the dream books is that sometimes it's kind of a pain and I don't really want to do it. And I think that we kind of sometimes do it too often, but I enjoy the fact that sometimes you can look back at it and see if you've achieved those goals that you made, and it kind of helps you to think about what you want to achieve in the next span of time, I guess. And so yeah, that's what I like about it.
Okay, this is Claire.
Who's gonna pay for it?
I really like the dream books because I really like looking back at it and seeing what I wrote. It's really cool to see if I've done my goals since then or if I haven't. One thing I don't like about it is that it's kind of a pain to write in, like if you're writing in like every month. I don't know. It's just kind of, sometimes I'm not really in the mood to do it, but I'm glad I do.
Whoa. And here's my husband, who's going to refrain from talking right now. But
so my dream book is to have this house right here.
Okay, so now that I've shown you kind of what those kids have done in their books, I want to show you a book that Dave and I, my husband, and I put together probably 20 years ago when we were first newly married. We've been married for almost 25 years. And so when we just had 1 or 2 kids, we kind of got our own little binder. And this is something that I had done growing up, as I mentioned before. My family was kind of religious about this. My dad is so great at goals. I forgot to kind of say that at the beginning, but he's awesome. And he and my mom, even from the beginning of their marriage, they had a mobile above their bed with different things that they really wanted to accomplish that were floating around, and they could think about them every night as they went to sleep. And something about my dad, that those things where he wants to internalize those goals and keep them close, has transferred to me, and I'm hoping that it'll transfer to my kids. So anyway, I want to show you also what my husband and I did, because I don't think it's only kids that need to make these goals. I don't care how old you are or how young you are, no matter what stage of life you're in. I think it's so great to have goals that project you into the future. So I think my husband and I actually need to redo some of these goals, and we have through the years, but we haven't actually done it in this book. But I just want to show you what some of those goals are. This is 20 years old, this book. But it's, as you can see, my kids' book stemmed from this. This is kind of ideas and dreams and things that we wanted to do. And so these are my dreams from when I was younger. And so many things this is actually from me and Dave. I think we did it together. But there's so many things that have come true in all of these. Things that I wanted to study, people who are my mentors, ideas, write books for children, mothers with mom. I actually did write a book with my mother. Change education somehow. Wow, I need to get going on that. Places I want to go. It seems like I've probably been to most of those places. Continue to learn with my kids. So those are dreams. And then there's all kinds of things. There's my values, things that I wanted to value in life, my realities. What are my assets? What are my liabilities? So, this is a system that my dad came up with, but you can totally make this in your own little dream book, just like my kids did. And I love looking at this. This is clear back in 1998 to 2004. And it's so interesting how a lot of these things have come true. I just read it through again, and it just feels like I'm so thankful that we took time to write these goals years ago and to have our own little dream book. And that's what really inspired my kids' dream book. So anyway, this book is filled with different ideas. And one other goal book I want to show you is actually not a goal book. It's called a spiritual creation book. And this is a book that my brother gave me. It's a huge book, actually. If you can see it in comparison to something. Oh, it's kind of dusty too. It looks like I need to get that dusted off. But anyway, my brother has this thing that he does in our family. He awards everyone a spiritual creation. He awards someone a spiritual creation award every year, and I won it one year. And this is the book that he gave me, and I have kept so many spiritual creations in here. This is just some doodling things that I had. These are different things that we were trying to figure out our own family motto years ago. My husband and I, this is from so long ago. We had some different family goals. We had some, this is kind of just my doodles to try to figure out our family motto. This is from 2008. These are the things I wanted to work on. Let's see what they were. Dinners, be more organized and plan ahead. Organize my folders, my cabinets and files. Teach kids the importance of money. Patience, be gentle with thoughts. And computer, time, be more aware. Limit so I can focus on what's most important. I mean, there's all these things that I have thought about every year, and how I just feel like it's so important to write them down, each with all, just keep writing them down, because when we write things down, they become much more likely to actually come to pass. So these little things are, Max, my son, signed his name right here at the end of, I think this is one of our lunch dates that I used to write all my notes in here for lunch date. These were my February goals, but Max and I went to lunch and he had, his mental goal was to check SNAP grades every Monday, practice get up every morning, physical, he wanted to do 10 push-ups every night, social, he wanted to look people in the eye. He had a hard time with looking people in the eye, so he was working on that. Emotional, he knew he needed to get a little bit more sleep, so he needed to go to bed a little earlier. This is when he was really young. So spiritually, he wanted to be the one to lead the scriptures a little bit better. So that was his. Okay, sorry, I got a little interruption there, but just to end on this, these are Max's goals from a lunch one time. These is my thoughts after. Here's some of Grace's goals from her lunch. Looks like she needed to work on no more whining, no begging. Okay, so I hope that's helped you kind of get into the framework of these dream goals, the visions, future visions of things that really can be accomplished in life. One of my favorite quotes is, "Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve." And I think it's important to know that no matter what, even if you make goals that are way out of your bounds, if you have a dream book or some kind of a folder like these things that I'm showing you, and you reevaluate, whether it's monthly or yearly, or maybe even it's every 10 years, you go and kind of reevaluate, okay, what was I thinking? I don't think that's really gonna happen. I think we're gonna go this way instead. But I think as long as you have that framework and you're thinking things through and you kind of reevaluate over and over again, you're going to be able to make and keep goals that are pretty awesome, and you're going to be able to do things in your life that you wouldn't be able to do if you're not organized that way. So I'm hoping for me and for you that we can go forward and organize those dreams and those visions. I would love to hear any stories or any successes that you might want to share. You can come to my blog at 71toes.com and leave a comment, or leave a comment on Instagram, Shawnee Pothier, or whatever. I'll try to post a little bit more about these things, and so that we can have it all there as well as in this conference. So I just want to leave everyone with a challenge, including myself, to think about what you want to happen in your life. What do you want to accomplish? This is going to make a difference. I know I've seen it with my parents, I've seen it with myself, I've seen it with my kids, and I'm just so thankful for that example of organizing goals that my dad had all those years ago. It's helped us a lot, and I hope it helps you too. Good luck to everyone, and signing off.